Hi guys, thank you for watching the Kingdom Chasers. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Karen.
So today we will go over our experiences at Legoland, Florida, as well as the water park there.
The first time we actually went to Legoland, Florida was on the opening day after everything had been closed for a couple of months. So we don't have any experience of going before it closed, but we can tell you everything about what happened afterwards.
So as we went up to the park, they did provide us with masks, a temperature check, and they had hand sanitizer stations almost everywhere, as soon as you walk in, as well as at every ride. Now each ride's sanitation requirements were different, so some were sprayed down after each ride, and some took about 5 to 10 minutes as they sprayed it and ran the ride through a cycle.
And even though they gave us masks when we first walked in, if you didn't have one with you, they weren't required and we didn't see a lot of people wearing them. There were some families that did, but throughout the park it wasn't really hard to stay away from people. Everybody was pretty much socially distancing, so that I felt like I didn't really need to wear a mask.
Yeah, most of the time we walked around there, we didn't wear a mask because we weren't within maybe 15, 20 feet of each other. And even a lot of the lines were pretty well spread out. Also, Legoland does let you bring in coolers. As long as they're about the size of a small Lunchmate cooler, you can bring in drinks, snacks, sandwiches, that kind of stuff, and it helps you save quite a bit of money. We actually brought in quite a few snacks for our boys and drinks. That way, when we were in a long line, they had something to do and good water breaks. Also, all of the Coke Freestyle areas currently have an attendant there, and if you ask for ice water, they'll give you as much as you want. And they're pretty spread out among the whole park.
We did eat at the Panini Grill there. It was our first experience eating at Legoland. I wouldn't say it was the best experience. They obviously had a limited menu due to the limitations at the park and decreased crowds and everything. But for what they had, there was 2 items for adults and 2 items for kids. The adult items were $13 and it came with an item and a side. The kids items were $8 and it came with a drink, the item, and a side. And the kids items were actually a better option. We felt like we did get 2 adult items and 2 kids items because there were 4 of us, and we did end up kind of splitting it between all of us. It was just a much better option to get the kids, honestly. We got 2 pretzel dogs, which was the adult item, and it just didn't seem like it was worth the price to me, and I did get a picture of it, which we can put in, but you got pretty much the same amount of food for the kids, but at a much cheaper cost, and you got a drink with it.
Yeah, the kids' meal was definitely much more well done, I would say.
Yeah.
The grilled cheese even was done on a flatbread, and my youngest son, Matthew, his sandwich was honestly one of the best things I think they had on the menu.
And they did also get drinks for you, so you don't go up to the machine, someone will go get it for you.
And they tend to sanitize those pretty regularly as well. Even though somebody's getting it for you, they have Sandy wipes at all the stations to wipe them down.
And they do offer refills, but they just give you a new cup.
One thing that we wish we tried when we went there was the apple fries. A lot of people have said they're really good, and when I do my video walkthrough of Legoland in, say, about a week, then I'll definitely provide a review of them, as well as some photos and some pricing.
Plus if they're kid approved.
Yes.
Our kids are between ages 5 and 7, and everything there did seem age appropriate for them. I would not suggest the park for anyone really over the age of 12. I don't think that they would really enjoy it. There was different sections of the parks, like a Duplo area for younger kids, as well as some areas for a little bit older kids. Most of the rides were for height requirement 48 inches and under, which we can put a link in the description down below of the height requirements at Legoland.
One thing that was a little troublesome was the walk to the water park. You have to walk through the entire park in order to get to their water park. The park is more elongated. It doesn't really have a center, but if there was a center, there's this giant Lego city area, has about 4 or 5 paths stemming off of it, and we found that the quickest way to actually get through the park.
We did actually talk to some of the employees there. They were all wearing masks and they made us feel very safe, and they were all very friendly and helpful. They did actually tell us that the Great Lego Race, which is their 4D roller coaster, was down the first day that we went, the opening day, because it had been struck by lightning, so everything kind of needed to reboot and reset. And we did actually get to go on it the next time we went, and it was fun. There was no line. We did not get to experience the 4D part of it, but even without it, it was still just as fun.
Yeah, that ride makes some pretty sharp turns, no upside down, but even our youngest, he's 5, and he's pretty adverse to roller coasters, and he enjoyed it actually quite a bit.
We did notice that on a lot of the rides that do take your picture, they weren't taking pictures.
Yeah, most of the booths where they usually would give you your picture or let you download it weren't available at the time that we went. Overall, for the value, Legoland is a lot cheaper than Universal and Disney. To give you an example, Disney's about double the price of Universal, and Legoland is about 1/3 that for an annual pass for a family of 4. We honestly didn't spend too much. My pass was a little more upgraded just so we got the free parking and the discount. The 10% is what they offer there at Legoland.
We did get to go to the water park for a day. I would suggest making it a separate day if you can. You can probably fit everything in one day because the lines aren't that long, but there was a lot to do and the kids really seemed to enjoy. There were slides that they could do, the lazy river. They have tubes that you can build bricks on.
They even have a small area for the little ones where you can sit in a bench in the shade, and there's very small slides which are staffed, and it's a nice little splash area. If our kids were a few years younger, they would have really enjoyed it.
There is also a separate food area in the water park section, and it seemed to have better prices and a better food option.
The one thing I will warn you of is lockers. Even just for a small locker, it's $9 for the day. They don't offer any seasonal rate or any other option other than leaving your stuff out. So I suggest leaving most of your stuff in the car, and what I did was I actually have a backpack that I put a couple little locks on as well as a bike lock. So you put it around the chair that you're staying at.
We did also notice that due to probably limited capacity that not all of the slides were running. Some of the larger slides were, and it was about a 15-minute wait for those. And even in the lines, they were still social distancing, and they would spray down the tubes afterwards. For the section with just kind of slides and the giant bucket that dumps water down, even some of those slides weren't going, and they had it roped off, so you knew that you couldn't get up there.
The last thing we wanted to go over with you guys is something we actually heard about after we went to Legoland. They have a 9-hole mini golf located behind one of the hotels, and it's only $8 per person. We have not seen this mini golf yet. Honestly, I kind of didn't think it was real, but I'll be sure to do a video walkthrough of the hotel and include the mini golf course. Compared to a lot of the other mini golf places around here, that's really affordable. Disney's, I know, runs upwards of 20, as well as a lot of those Pirates ones that you find in Central Florida. So for them to offer it at such a low price is honestly kind of a steal.
It does have only 9 holes instead of 18, which is the usual amount, but it still seems worth it.
Can actually keep the kids' attention for that long compared to by the time you get to the 10th or 11th hole, they just want to sit down and look at stuff.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and be on the lookout for our next video about what we wish we knew when moving to Florida.
Be sure to like and subscribe, and until next time,
Bye.
bye.